What's going on, guys? So right off the bat, yes, it is that time of year. We got the pumpkin placemat here in the fall tablecloth. So this will be our background for a little while, and then eventually probably switch off to Christmas or something. It's just how it is. If you're new to the channel, you might not be expecting this. You're used to the old wood table and whatnot, but we have a festive background for the festivities and the seasons. So anyway, moving on to today's subject, and that is high-powered flashlights and that high output just not lasting very long. All right, so it's kind of like the dirty little secret that's not really a secret. If you actually use your flashlights, this is something you've noticed, or if you actually read the instructions and the manuals that come with your flashlights, this is something you've probably learned, but not everyone does that. And every single day there's people who are just getting into the hobby of EDC gear and carrying knives and flashlights and pens and all kinds of stuff. So if you're kind of new to the flashlight scene, this is something you may not know. And I think it's very important to stress, especially when you're looking for a flashlight and you're looking at the technical, specifications and the details and the performance. So what I'm talking about specifically is very high powered flashlights, okay? Amazing outputs. This is 1800 lumens in this S3 from RovyVon. This is one light that I'm just testing right now. You might see a video on in the future. But that 1800 lumens, it's amazing, right? It doesn't last that long, okay? This is something that is sometimes overlooked. So let's break out our paperwork here. This shows all about the light. But this is what we want to look at, these little charts, okay? The charts that have the outputs and run times. So if I zoom in here and take a look, we have low 8 lumens, medium is 100 lumens, high is 500 lumens, and turbo is 1800 lumens. Amazing, right? Well, let's look at the run times. Okay, low, 22 hours. Cool, very simple. Medium, 4.5 hours. Awesome. High, 3 minutes plus 130 minutes. What does that mean? Turbo, 3 minutes plus 50 minutes. So if you don't look at your paperwork, okay, and you just use your light, let's say I put this on high, or I put it on turbo in this case, it's gonna last 3 minutes, and then after 3 minutes, it's going to drop significantly, okay? And the second power mode is going to last 50 minutes in turbo. In high, the second power mode is going to be 130 minutes. So what's nice about this paperwork is they actually explain this for you, and that's why I'm using this as an example. When you look at any kind of specs and on the data sheets that come with your flashlights, they won't necessarily put it like this. Sometimes it'll just be like a slash mark, you know what I mean? Like 3 minutes slash 130 minutes. And some people might get confused. What does that mean? If you actually use your flashlight, like in this particular case, if you had this RovyVon and you had it on high for 4 minutes, after 3 minutes you would have noticed that the light got dimmer, and you might wonder why. Well, it's nice because this will actually give you the details on as well. So this happens to have a little 1 on there. So it says 3 minutes, a little 1 in a circle. So we're going to come down to the number 1. It says step down to 240 lumens in 3 minutes while working at high mode. So what that means is that when you have this light and you turn it on high, you get that 500 lumens, nice and bright, but after 3 minutes, it's going to be 240 lumens, and that will last 130 minutes of runtime. Okay, turbo, 3 minutes, and you have a little number 2, which is going to be stepped down to 500 lumens, all right? So on turbo, it's 1800 lumens, extremely bright, but after 3 minutes, you will see it dim down all the way to 500 lumens, okay? Which is not even close to the 1800 lumens on turbo. It's actually going down to high. Now what's interesting is I tested this multiple times with multiple different flashlights, and more times than not it slowly steps down. Okay, so it happens, it's not like you're at 1800 lumens and it exactly at 3 minutes it just clicks down to high mode. It's not like that. It's something you might not even notice because it's slowly ramping. The reason for this is because when you have a high powered flashlight, you have a lithium ion rechargeable battery with all this light pumping out of it, it creates heat. It generates heat. And when you have too much heat, it damages the flashlight, damages the circuitry in there, and it'll break the light. So they have these built-in features so that it does not get too hot. Now this particular light, when testing this out, after about 3 minutes, it gets warm enough in the hand where it's almost uncomfortable to hold. It gets hotter than like a like one of those hand warmers you'd have in the winter, a hot hands. All right, so if you're familiar with that, it gets hotter than that. This is just something, like I said, if you have a lot of flashlights, like I happen to be exposed to tons and tons of flashlights, and I'm testing them all the time. Not everyone does that, you know what I mean? Some people might have 1 or 2 flashlights, you know, they carry for EDC. Maybe you don't even use it that much. Maybe it's just there for backup, you know? In that case, you might not even know about certain things like this. And this is why I'm making this video, to bring it to your attention. When you're looking at these lights, or if you own certain lights, look at the specifications, okay? Now, sometimes when you have a flashlight like, you know, 1800 lumens, that's ridiculous, right? But let's say, you know, on average, for your lifestyle, you break out your flashlight because you dropped something behind your desk. You put all that light out there. Oh, there it is, no big deal, grab it. Your light's been on for what, 5 seconds, 10 seconds? Not everyone uses their flashlight for, you know, a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes in a row. You know what I mean? So this is something that doesn't often get talked about or even noticed by some people, because you're never using your flashlight long enough to actually experience the light ramping down. Now, I've had these questions over the years. You know, some people might send a message, hey, I had this light, I had it for like 6 months. It was awesome, but I was doing a project with my dad, and or whatever the case is, and I was holding a flashlight there, and he was doing something for like, you know, 5 minutes, and after a while, it kind of looked like it was dim. I didn't know what was wrong, but when I turned it back on, it seemed fine. That's all it is. When your flashlight creates all this extra heat, it has to lessen the power. It gets dimmer to make sure that it's not going to get damaged. Okay, there's no way around it. When you have so much energy, these really high-powered batteries with all this energy in it, with these really high-powered LEDs, there's just no way to get that much light without heat. All right, now some of the bigger flashlights, they have heat sinks that absorb that heat, some copper parts. A lot of times you'll see like the fins, you know, where there's cutouts by the head. All that is to dissipate heat. It's to keep the heat away from the light, and so it doesn't, you know, absorb and get hotter quicker. But there's no way around it. These lights generally, especially with super, super high outputs, they generally have very, very short run times for that high output, and then it'll step down to, I mean, 500 lumens is still bright. It's still amazing to have a light this small I can hide inside my fist, right, and still pump out 500 lumens for almost an hour. That is still amazing to me. But it's not as amazing as thinking that it's going to be 1800 lumens for almost an hour. It's just not possible, okay? The light would break. It would get too hot and it would literally break. So this is something that I just wanted to point out in this video. It's not just RovyVon, it's every flashlight company out there. If you have a lot of lumens coming out of a tiny light, or even bigger lights, there's large lights, same deal. The bigger the light, usually the bigger the battery, the more output there is. I mean, you're talking thousands of lumens in some cases. And it's the same deal. If you break out your paperwork, out of curiosity, if you didn't know this, take out your paperwork. If you happen to keep your packaging and stuff, or if you buy a new light, look at it. Or if you have a light and you don't have paperwork, go to the website. A lot of these companies' websites still have all the tech specs on all their lights, and take a look at it. If there's a number and a slash mark and another number for the output, that's all it means. It's going to cool down and come down with the output so that it does not damage the light because of heat issues. All right, so I just want to bring that to everyone's attention, because sometimes people might get confused. You might have a flashlight that has like 1,000 lumens, and you're like, wow, this is great. I'll use 1,000 lumens and I'll do these projects, and I'll need it for this particular task, and it'll be on for like 10 minutes. No, it's not going to work like that. It's going to be a lesser light output. It can still be very capable. Like I said, 500 lumens is still really, really bright. All right, you're not missing out with that at all. But just don't expect those turbo modes and those high modes to last as long as you might think. That's all. Just want to bring this to attention in case you didn't know. So hope you guys have an awesome day. All right, you guys will probably see a video on this. I have 2 different RovyVon lights. This one's pretty interesting. We'll see if you can guess what this little circle here is for, which is actually pretty handy for some people. But anyway, I have that one. I have another model. It's actually really cool. It takes an external battery, but also has an internal rechargeable battery, so you can swap between the two in case one dies. But that's for a future video. Anyway, I just wanted to bring to your attention again the whole idea of why your flashlights might be dimming after they're being consistently used. You know, if you keep it on for more than 3-4 minutes, you know, and obviously that's going to differ between companies. Generally speaking, it's between like 2 and 5 minutes. That's the range where those super high outputs just die down. It cuts power. It's totally normal. Your flashlight's not broken. It's not breaking. There's no battery problems, nothing like that. That's supposed to happen so your flashlight doesn't break. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Let me know down in the comment sections, did you know this? Did you not know this? You know, I make these videos for just education, obviously entertainment for some people. But sometimes I'll make a video and it talks about simple things and people are like, oh yeah, duh. It's not like that. The simplest things that you may know in life, other people don't know. Like some of the highest view videos I have are you know, how to fill Zippo. You know what I mean? And some people watch that and they go, who doesn't know how to fill Zippo? A lot of people, apparently, because a lot of people clicked on the video to figure out how to fill their Zippo. So there's no dumb questions in this world. The only dumb question is the question not asked. I had a teacher tell me that once in high school, and it stuck. And it's a very good quote because it's very true. All right. If you have any questions on any videos or anything, and you know, don't feel dumb about asking questions. That's how you learn things. And I'm constantly asking questions as well. So anyway, I just want to touch upon the subject a little bit. And if you didn't know, now you do. If you did know, then I guess I'll move on to tomorrow's video. In that case, I'll see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take it easy, guys.